Holding space is about showing up authentically and creating safety in the moments that matter most. From parenting littles to navigating friendships and partnerships, I reframe tantrums, conflicts, and messy feelings as invitations to connection. I'm Julia Clark, a psychotherapist and play therapist with over 30 years of experience walking alongside children, families, and the people who care for them. Each episode explores the building blocks of emotional literacy, co-regulation, and boundaries, while honoring the intergenerational stories we carry within. Blending science with lived wisdom, I believe growth is playful, healing is possible, and we are all learning together. Hi, I'm Julia, and together we're holding space. There are some moments in parenting that don't just happen once. They repeat, over and over again. You might be in the middle of something, making dinner, answering a message, trying to finish one small task, and you hear it. Mom, Mom, Mommy, Mama, Ma, Ma, and it keeps going. You answer once, yeah? And then again, Mom, and again, Mom. And you can feel it building in your body. The subtle tightening, the pull in your attention, the shift from patience into something else. Because it's not just the word, it's the repetition. It's the feeling that you can't quite step away, that you're being pulled back again and again. And eventually, for many of us, there's a moment where something tips. The tone changes, the response sharpens, or you feel yourself shutting down inside. And afterwards, there can be a question that lingers. Why does it feel so constant? Today, I want to slow that moment down. Not to stop it, but to understand it differently. This is where the work of John Bowlby gives us something incredibly important to hold on to. Bowlby showed us that children are not simply looking for attention. They are orienting themselves for connection. From the very beginning, a child's nervous system is organized around proximity. Where am I in relation to my caregiver? How close or far do I feel? And what does that mean for my safety? From this, Bowlby described two foundational experiences: a secure base and a safe haven. A secure base is what allows a child to move outwards, to explore, to play, to engage with the world. It's the feeling of, I can go, because I know I can come back. A safe haven is what allows a child to return, to seek comfort, reassurance, and regulation when something feels uncertain. It's the experience of, I can come back and I will be received. And these aren't separate. They form a rhythm, outward and back, explore and return. And for that rhythm to develop, the nervous system needs repetition. Not once, but over and over again. So when you hear, Mom, 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 we can start to see something different. Not interruption, but orientation. There's a game many of us played as kids, Marco Polo. One person closes their eyes and calls out, Marco, and the other responds, Polo. And the whole game is built around this call and response. It's a way of finding each other without seeing, of staying connected through sound, of knowing I'm not alone in here. That moment in parenting can feel surprisingly similar. Your child is calling out, Mom, and what they're really doing is locating you, not visually, but relationally. Are you still there? Can I still find you? And when the response doesn't quite land or doesn't feel close enough, they call again, Mom, and again, Mom. Not because they didn't hear you, but because they're still trying to find you. So we come back to that familiar scene, the repetition, the building tension, the feeling of being pulled again and again. And instead of seeing it as something to stop, we begin to recognize it as a nervous system reaching in the only way it knows how, calling out, listening for the response, trying to locate safety, and at the same time, your system is responding too, trying to hold focus, trying to maintain space, trying not to lose yourself in that repetition. So again, there are two experiences happening: a child trying to find connection, and a parent trying to hold capacity. Connection as the starting point. This is where the shift begins, not in stopping the call, but in changing how we answer it. Instead of responding from across the room, we move towards it, even briefly. We turn, we make eye contact, we let our body soften. I'm here, and we let that land. Because when connection is felt, it completes the Marco Polo loop. The child isn't calling anymore. They found you. Titration. Filling the tank, then stepping away. This is where the rhythm becomes intentional. Connection, then separation. We fill that tank first, not endlessly, not perfectly, but enough. And then we step away. I'm going to finish this, and I'll come back. And because they just found you, that separation feels different. Not like losing you, but like trusting you're still there. Over time, the nervous system begins to hold that connection internally. The calls become less urgent, less frequent, because they no longer need to keep checking. This is how the secure base is built. Not through constant availability, but through repeated, reliable return. Through the experience of, I can call for you and you respond. I can move away and you're still there. And slowly the rhythm stabilizes, outward and back. Less calling, more carrying. The parent's nervous system. This is where I'm going to widen the lens, because your nervous system matters too. Being called repeatedly can feel like there's no way to pause it. No space to finish something. No room to think. And that matters. Because when your system is stretched, it becomes harder to offer presence to another. So this isn't about being endlessly available. It's about being intentional. A small moment of connection now can create more space later. And there will also be moments where you hold the boundary. I hear you, and I'm going to finish this. Then I'll come. Grounded, clear, connected. Let's take a moment to think about a time recently where this happened. That repeated calling, the pull on your attention. Notice, if you can, what happened in your body. Gently ask, what was my child trying to find in that moment? And also, what was I needing? Because both are part of the same rhythm. That moment, Mom, Mom, Mom. It can feel like something to quiet, something to get through. But inside it is a call, and a search, and a relationship organizing itself in real time. Like a game of Marco Polo, your child is calling out into the space between you, trying to find you. And when they do, when that connection is felt, something in them settles. And from that place, they can move outward again. Not because they needed less, but because they found enough. This is part of our Holding Space series, where we bring awareness into the everyday moments that shape connection. And in our next episode, we're going to bring all of this together into the rhythms of regulation that we live into each day. And as we begin to wrap up our first season of Holding Space with Julia, I also want to take a moment to say thank you. If you've been following along, listening, sharing episodes, or reflecting on these conversations in your own life, I'm truly grateful. We have one more episode before we take a short break for the summer. When we return for season 2, I'd love to bring in even more topics that matter to you. So if there's something you'd like me to explore, a question you'd like me to unpack, or a topic you'd like me to dig into, I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me through my social media channels, which are linked in the show notes, or reach out through my website at clarity.family. Thank you for being here and for holding space with me. I'll see you in the next episode. If the content of this podcast really resonated with you and you'd like to go even deeper, I'd love to invite you to step into this work more fully. Beyond the podcast, there are many ways that we can connect. Individual therapy for your child, parent coaching or support for yourself, and deeper I Am sessions that explore intergenerational patterns. Additionally, I also offer webinar workshops and weekend retreats for parents, classes, intensive trainings and supervision for therapists, and large group presentations for educators or school presentations. Each are designed to help us hold space for the next generation of children in safe, attuned, and meaningful ways. You can learn more and explore what fits best for you at clarity.family.